Hey guys, it's Laurence Bradford from Learn to Code with Me, and today I'll be showing you 14 job searching tips for Craigslist. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. Tip number 1 is to search by keyword. So, on Craigslist, go to the job section and type in a keyword like WordPress. You can use other keywords like HTML, CSS, or basically anything you're trying to get a job doing. Tip number 2 is to refine your results in the side panel. So typically I'll check something like is telecommuting, which means that the job is remote or has the possibility to be remote. Tip number 3 is to check the posting date. Typically, I don't apply to jobs that have been listed more than 2 weeks ago. So since today is March 26th, I would not apply to something that was posted back in February, like this job or this job. Tip number 4 is to not search just in your area, unless of course you're looking for something that is near you that you will be driving to every day. Craigslist makes it really easy to switch cities. So I can go to, I'm looking for New York. And it's still going to show me WordPress jobs that are telecommute. In tip 5, you want to scan the job titles for key terms. So for instance, something like this, seeking bilingual Hispanic digital editors, would not be good for me because I'm not bilingual. Also, if the title lists a certain skill, for instance, legal blogger, and you don't know anything about legal stuff, that's also something you probably shouldn't even click. And of course, you want to look for indications of what level the position is. So say you're a beginner, you shouldn't be looking at jobs that have senior in the title. Also, be wary of any spammy looking ads. Typically, when you search by keyword and you use the side panel, the amount of spammy job listings decreases. But something like this, using capital letters, saying, unlimited potential, that's usually an indication that it could not be a good opportunity. And anything that says no experience needed, make money fast, words like that, that's typically a sign that the job really isn't what it says it is, and it could either be like a scam or just not a great opportunity. Tip number 7 is to only apply to positions where you can directly email a human being. So what that means is do not fill out an online application form. So this listing is an example of emailing a human being, because even though an email is not listed in the ad, which they are sometimes, when you press reply, you can copy this email address into your Gmail account or what have you, and that is going to go directly into someone's inbox. You're not sure who based on this because no name is given, but the person that is hiring for this position, and that's what you want to look for. Here's another one that is this way as well. When you press reply, you're given, right there actually, an email, and it goes to an actual inbox. It's not an online form that a computer is sifting through and seeing if you meet certain requirements. Tip number 8 is to target listings where you meet 60 to 80% of the skills listed. If you meet everything 100%, you're probably overqualified. And if you meet less than 60 or less than half, then there's a good chance you probably are underqualified. So here's an example of a position that I would apply to, even though I don't know everything on the list. For instance, I don't have familiarity with Zerb, Zerb Foundation right here. I'm let's see, I'm not fantastic with Grunt, even though I use it. Oh, and I definitely don't know Backbone.js. Nonetheless, I meet most of the requirements, so this would be something I would apply to. Tip number 9 is to look for the payment. Right here, it's very easily labeled on the side. It says $15 an hour. On this ad, it just says TBD, so to be determined, probably based on experience, which is fine. And this says negotiable, which is, a similar thing. Be careful because sometimes at the bottom they'll say something like, work for equity, which means you're not actually going to be paid money in cash. So, for me, that would be something I would not want to do. Sometimes it'll even say at the bottom, oh, this is an unpaid internship, even though the rest of the ad seems like it could be paid. So before, taking time to send an email, make sure that the payment is what you're looking for. So for the next tip, you want to thoroughly read the ad and make sure you follow instructions. This is when you know you want to apply for the job. So for instance, with this one, if you notice at the end, it gives you instructions on what to do when you email. There's some points right there. And then it also says, make sure to use this solid web dev in the subject line of your message. So they kind of do that as a test to make sure you can follow directions. And this isn't the case all the time, but maybe 10-20% of the time it is. So, you definitely want to make sure you read the directions, provide what they ask for, and if there's a specific subject line to do that, because if you don't, and you use the wrong subject line, they may never even read your message or look at your, account, your GitHub account, or look at your portfolio. So follow directions. Okay, so the next tip is to write a very good and as concise as possible email introduction to yourself. Follow directions and make a note of skills that you have that match the job listing. So this is an example from back in 2014, and this is from a job I ended up getting. And I specifically mentioned Bootstrap and WordPress as well as Magento, and a few things at the bottom like Photoshop and wireframing, because these were all skills that the job ad had mentioned. And with this particular job ad, I remember there were a ton of things listed, much more than this. I probably met 40% or 50% of what was listed. As it turns out, this person made the job ad really intentionally to kind of weed out people. So it ended up working out, but that just kind of goes to show that job ads are wish lists for the people hiring. And this email sample is probably a bit longer than it should have been, but at the same time, the job ad was longer. So, and this is kind of takes time to learn, but you really want to make your email for the job similar to the job listing. You want to use language that the person uses. So if they're very casual, you want to use kind of more casual language. If it's very serious toned, you want to be more serious then. So aside from writing a good initial email that matches language that they use in the job ad, as well as cites specific skills that are mentioned, it's also typically good measure to add your resume unless it specifies something else. So in this job ad, it doesn't actually say to attach your resume. It does say links and references and any details about your past work. So for something like this, I would either attach your resume or just include my LinkedIn URL. In my opinion, they're kind of the same thing. Of course, unless the job ad, such as this one, says, please email a resume. In that case, you would want to follow the directions and email a resume instead of attaching your LinkedIn profile. Typically, what you want to do is apply to 5 to 10 jobs a day, especially if you're really looking for something soon. I'll jump around from city to city in the US. Right now, I'm on the Los Angeles page. I'll go to Boston then. And it's really simple because you can just type the city name in and the query will match up. I'll open things that look interesting. And then at the end, I'll keep the tabs of the things I like open. And then I'll just send out emails all at once at the end. So I'll search first and then contact the hiring managers or the people hiring at the end. And finally, don't forget to check the gigs section. So jobs are up here and gigs are down here. Right now I'm in the Boston Craigslist. I'll typically look under computer and I'll see, what's available. I'll also do key terms here as well. And gigs are a bit different because they're usually either shorter term, smaller projects, or sometimes it's like startups looking for a co-founder or something like that. So again, just be wary, make sure you read everything and see what they're really looking for before taking time to email and apply. Thank you for watching. And if you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also come back to my site at Learn to Code with Me so you can see all the awesome stuff I'm talking about there.